They lost a very tight matchup against Solary yesterday, but I think a lot of people put a lot of faith in Fadeaway because of the way they performed last season, especially later on. And of course, with the pickup of Yukio, they expect this team to maybe do better than what they showed yesterday. And I think it's a fair pick, but I wouldn't count out this Drifters team. I believe it was Turtle who pointed him out. Ritual is a big guy to point out, and he puts it away as soon as I call his name.
That is a goal and a half. Wow. Ritual spots his opportunity, and he's not going to waste it. 1-0 to Drifters.
He's the guy to look out. He's the guy to look out for. I was literally
I don't think we've
about
ever
to say
had
it.
that in all of commentary ever. Okay, well done, Corelli. You're breaking it all down, lad. I mean, it's important to mention, though, that when we get into this, despite how emerging Spain has been as a nation, it wasn't until very recently they got into the RLCS, and it was Nashitao that was the first ever Spanish RLCS qualifier. But Freaky is going to show us why the Germans might be someone to be a little bit more afraid of, and he's going to put it in to tie us up 1 each.
Nashitao backs off from the challenge, goes wide outside of the frame at that point, and Freaky knew right where to put it, to the right side, far and away from Nashitao. And for Fadeaway, able to find that equalizer quite quickly here in game one.
Nashitao gonna get himself a good challenge. Very fast-paced start here between both these teams. Be very curious to see what we get from Yukio today. I mentioned yesterday that I feel like this could be a little bit less pressure for him on this team. A little bit more stability in the way that the team plays, and there's a chance for him to almost reinvent himself as a player off the backboard. He is going to be player moving forward. It's a nice pass over to Freaky.
Oh, lovely.
If you are going to start reinventing your image, that is the way to do it.
Oh, but you know, he was doing this on Dignitas as well, and that is, you don't get a better pass than that. Right down in front of Freaky's face, and a great finish from Freaky, top shelf. But Yukio setting his team up for success, and that's one of the reasons why Yukio is such a great player. He's got that offensive prowess, but he also knows when to give up the ball as well, and he does a great job there to set up Freaky.
2-1. 3-goal score. We're not even a minute and a half into this just yet. Hopefully that is the tone that we will get for the entirety of this series. Yukio looking for Tigray. Not quite be available for them. Quick update as well from our B-Stream matchup. Denied have moved on through against Rick's GG, so they will be out. Denied moving on for a chance to get through to, I believe, Saturday.
And good for them too. Denied has had such a crazy story.
Today, Corelli. Okay, I picked Denied on that side. I haven't got Liquid on this one.
I mean, hey, look, it's good for them. That's a huge win for them. And Denied, they're a team you got to look out for now at this point, because they're taking down those teams that are their peers. They're taking out teams above them, and they are a team to look out for at this point.
Ritual, oh, he's missed it. This can be a chance for Fadeaway to try and double up the lead. Tigray had to pre-jump.
Yeah.
Didn't want to give it too much time, so it's a miss that looks a lot worse than it actually was.
That was a tough one for Tigray. You can't blame him too much. He was trying to make it happen, and at least he got something on the ball. Otherwise, there was no shot to be had there.
Cleared long. Yukio realizing he's got plenty of time. Swoop in comes for him. It's going to drop straight into the middle again. Tigray looks for Yukio one more time. He's actually going to get a hold of it. Ritual didn't want to try and turn around. Freaky off the backboard. Seems like getting a lot of changes of pace here as teams just can't quite figure out how well the opposing team is actually going to hit the ball. So they're trying to sit back that little bit more, give themselves more breathing room.
And each team kind of having a go at each other, too. One goes downfield, the other marches right back at him, and that's a tough shot from Drifters. Goes off the left side post. Ritual with the shot.
Oh, wow.
Yukio, a backflip save as he dives across the net, but still the attack on. Yukio then bumps the oncoming attacker of Drifters out of the way in swooping, and that will slow down the attack and actually helps Fadeaway get down the field.
Miracle save from Yukio and then bumps away the follow-up player. This has been a great game for Yukio. Looks continuing this for the rest of the day. Give me a chance, though, for Drifters. Already up his swoop in. Might be able to drop down a nice spot, but they end up colliding into each other. It's up to Rizal to salvage the play, but with him being bumped, he's actually managed to recover in time.
No way.
And he's caught the ball out.
Look what happens to Rizal here. He gets bumped into the ball off the wall, still has his flip because he landed, then flips into the ball. The reaction time to make that happen catches the defense out. They didn't expect that in a million years to happen. And Rizal now 2 up for his team, and an impressive way to do it.
Now Tigray looks to try and set up. So pass over to the corner. Can't wait to see that goal again, but we've still got a minute, and it's all available now for both teams. Freaky over the top of Swoopin. He has got 2 players he can possibly pass over to, but he can't quite get the ball in front of him, so made the edge dribble more difficult. Second touch from Yukio has managed to catch them out a little bit. Not the best touch, and a player now removed. Tigray to try and take it, leaves it for Freaky. Double save required. Double the surface area for the ball to hit. It was exactly what they needed. Still pressure on, though. Might finally be over and done with. Nashito going to try and steal himself another 100 boost. 14 seconds left. Might be the final chance for Drifters. They want to take this in regulation. Yukio past 1. The wall and another demo. Yukio. It's
too hard.
Oh, wow. That was a great play. It's this time to be set up, but ended up getting away from them. Has to hit the floor, though, before Drifters are safe, and we are going to go to overtime.
Man, those were some close chances right at the end for Fadeaway. Drifters got to be a bit careful. Fadeaway looked very organized when they're on that offensive third, as Yukio leaves way for Freaky booming clear downfield. Drifters might use Rizal again, as that shot does go wide, but a good flick on, and it forces Yukio to have to dribble out from his own corner.
Drifters finding a lot of success with just booting the ball downfield. Making sure that they can get the first player to it. It might land for Nashito. Plays it off the wall. Freaky has an argument with the post, and it doesn't matter either way. Swooping too quick, and it will be 1-0 Drifters.
And I'm shocked that he gets to this ball. It felt like the defense should have been up to this. Tigray was just inches away from catching up to it, and unfortunately for Fadeaway, they give up, I would say, more of a weak goal with 2 players sitting in the box there. Nobody got up to it. Swoopin, great job to follow up, and Drifters take game 1.
What a game that was as well, and it feels kind of horrible as well, because now we were talking about how good we felt Yukio was playing, ends up kind of not mattering, really. It just means that it was a closer result for them. There's a lot to unpack here, Corelli. Let's start off with Drifters and what we got to see from them. I love just how confident they are with this offense. There is no question what they want to do. They are just doing it so quick every single time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the way things started off with Rizal and his touch, I mean, really set the tone, I think, for this Drifters squad. And I think they kind of kept that tone throughout this game. This was not a bad game from Drifters at all. I mean, obviously they won, but on the other side of things, I don't really think it was a horrible game from Fadeaway either. There was a couple times where I feel like they should have found the back of the net that they either squandered, or, you know, a good save came out from Drifters. But that was really, I think, the defining factor for both sides here, and what gave Drifters the win.
I think this is our favorite sort of match to commentate. Oh, wow, that's going to be a miss on the backboard. It's really available for Tigray, not the start that they wanted to see on Drifters.
Oh, Swoopin just misreads the ball. It's as simple as that. Tigray had the read all the way. An unfortunate start for the Drifters, as Fadeaway find the first goal in the first 6 seconds.
I was going to say that this is my favorite sort of series where we don't have to go through and go, oh, okay, widespread changes to what you're doing. We don't know what's going on here. And it's just, nah, you're playing fine. Just do it better. You know, it's always much nicer to be in that state where we know both teams are playing their game.
And that's something that I worry about, too, for any team. You know, if something that they're doing is working, they didn't come out with a win, doesn't necessarily mean that they have to, you know, rewrite the entire book here. It's you just got to be a bit more crisp, and that's a great pass over to Freaky. 2-0 for Fadeaway.
And this all comes down to this double commit. Nashito tries to figure out what he's doing. He goes for a full 180 on the turn, before realizing that the players completely got away from him and the rest of the team. Drifters just falling apart, really. They caused all their own problems. Now find themselves 2, almost 3 goals down.
that one was back post on target. Might have crawled in. Fadeaway extending this lead, and Drifters really haven't seen much offense from them. I know we're less than a minute in, but with Fadeaway already chugging along, I feel like from what we saw in the first game, it was Drifters having their chance on target and Fadeaway would have theirs, but so far it's just been Fadeaway all the way through game 2.
Let's try and get something going here. The flick not high enough. I'll try and catch that a little bit more to really test the Fadeaway defense, and this is exactly where a Freaky team wants to be. Very good is he at holding on to leads for a long time and just making you make more mistakes, you know. Freaky very happy just to capitalize on any mistouch that you give him. Tigray up. Yukio into the midfield yet again. It's going to be Tigray for the second time. And they're up by 3-0. Fadeaway making this look easy.
And I'm confused where the defense goes. Swoopin goes all the way across. I am assumedly for Boost realizes at that point that he had to get back and turns on the back post, but it was just too late. There was huge gaps in the Drifters defense that Fadeaway exposes, and they're up 3-0.
It just seems like they're trying to be almost too proactive right now defensively, that they're not quite ready if something goes wrong for them. Again, there's nobody back to take away this first time. Tigray ends up missing the ball, doesn't matter. Freaky takes his time, realizes no passing option is available. Not the team that need them right now.
Been over 2 minutes now, and Drifters have one shot to show for their offense, as you know, there hasn't really been much from them here. Fadeaway have had complete control, and if you're a Drifters fan, you start to get worried. Is this really the tone that the game is going to be for the rest of the series? Maybe not. Swoofin might make a difference here as Nachito try to play it back across. Ritual still on the back post waiting, and he will pick it up from the ceiling. Can he make some magic happen by himself? And that's a tough one to follow up, as some great defense comes up. Fadeaway with the bump. Nacho's shot saved by Freaky. The net was open. Freaky had to make the save, and he does for Fadeaway.
I was going to say that once we get the Fadeaway defense all set up with all 3 players, it's going to be very difficult to get the ball past them. But a bump like that can certainly help out a ton. Getting closer here, our Drifters, but have they got the time left? They need something. They're going to need something soon. Tigray happy to take his time. He is on no boost. Not that he'll really care about that right now. Back into the midfield, and again, it's taking so long for a clear. In fact, the clear's not even going to happen. That ball was available for so long.
It did. It was out in that box for quite a while. Almost bouncing twice as Yukio gets to it right on the second bounce, and a great demo from Freaky coming through the defense. And 4-0 now for Fadeaway as they are in full command in game 2.
All momentum gained from game 1 is out the window. Fadeaway will look to keep adding on to this. Try and make this as convincing as both the desk and chat thought it would be.
There's one any chance in this, they need to go, and they've actually had a couple of dangerous chances in the last minute or half or so, but they just haven't been able to convert again. And some of that is the great defense of Fadeaway. Others are forcing chances that, otherwise probably wouldn't have ever materialized. And here's Freaky again, a second touch. Tigray wants the backboard a second time, as Fadeaway are happy just to keep smacking the ball off the back wall, and maybe one will roll in, as it does for Freaky, and he gets his hat trick.
This really has just been...
Excuse me.
just a calamity on defense. They don't quite know what they want to do with it. 5-0. Fadeaway. Well, we get told off for calling games too early. This game is done. Let's start looking towards the next one. At this point, Nachito trying to find Ritual, just anything to find some momentum heading into the next game, but instead the momentum bar has not only been maxed out, it has gone beyond what we thought it was capable of for Fadeaway. 6-0 here, and it is a blowout in game 2.
And I mean, the game has been like this for the entire game. For almost a full 5 minutes now, and almost assuredly it'll finish this way. It's been Fadeaway in control on top of Drifters all the way through. You're seeing it again, just Yukio Tigray rather, jumping on the ball, forcing a tough clear to come out from Swoop, and he has to deal with the man in front of him. Tigray throws it across the box, and Yukio is already there. There's a lot of confidence on Fadeaway right now that A, the first man's going to make that challenge, and B, he's going to get it across to me. I'm going to have a shooting opportunity here. And that confidence has never waned at all in this game at all.
7-0. But had big bright smiles on their faces after game one. But now they have to go up to figure out where this went so wrong for them. Nashito shot on target, but it won't mean anything here. 10 seconds remaining. GG, go next. Fadeaway dominant here in game two.
And for Drifters, you really got to change the pace of play. And I think it really, I mean, obviously it does start with the defense because that's what you spent the last 5 minutes playing is defense. And clearly there's an issue there. But on the other side of things too, or rather down the field, Drifters have to put away some of those chances. It wasn't that they were without chances. They halfway through that game, they did start to generate something here. But again, it's just not good enough. And they came too far and in between that it felt like Drifters had no offense at all.
Yeah, really, like that defense is just a big problem for me right now because it's one thing where we say, oh, you could have done this on the challenge, you could have done that. They're not challenging right now. And Fadeaway don't really have to work too hard for these goals. They were obviously forced to work a lot harder in game one. Here in game number 3, we're going to get a much better idea as to how this series is supposed to look, because there are those sort of games where when you're 3 goals down or halfway through, you just sort of throw your hands up and say, all right, it's done. We don't really care anymore. We'll see what we can do heading into game number 3. But this has to be a good start here for Drifters. Otherwise, it might very well get out of hand very quickly as this shot from Yukio is blasted high.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We do get to find out here if Drifters are truly outclassed by Fadeaway and they got away with a game 1 victory, or if that was just a poor game from the Drifters, as they are generating some more offense here than they did in the first minute of the last game, as that one came clean off the back wall. No one there to follow up from Drifters. And now a fight for it in the midfield.
Nashito drove to the backboard. Freaky would have preferred to be able to run onto that touch, but he's just fine with where he is. Swoopin gets both player and ball, but he's accidentally bumped Tigray into hitting this ball a bit further. There's a much more physical style here in game 3 from Drifters. They've managed to find a couple of different bumps and demos. Maybe the shot that they require. Gotta make an offensive push for it, though. Visual. Just over to the backboard. That backboard is unavailable. Fadeaway have always got one player around and waiting for it. They might be able to try and force at least a mistake. Yukio this time can't get a hold of it. Freaky takes control of the ball, and I feel like we said this in the last series, Corelli, where there's a lot of offensive pressure happening, and finally, they're gonna get their one big shot they refuse to give up.
As you were just mentioning, Shogun, you could kind of smell the blood in the water. And a great pass from Swoopin from the corner. A little bit of space between the corner and that near post. Ritual gets up there first, and he'll put it away for Drifters. Fadeaway kind of falling asleep there. I was about to compliment them. Their defense seemed very organized, but then all of a sudden, massive gap for Ritual to come through and put away the first goal.
It was almost nonchalant the way they were trying to defend that, but now it's the backboard once again, and they keep getting opportunities. Drifters were unfazed by how good Fadeaway looked with their backboard defense and keep going back to it. Finally a reward.
A big miss from Freaky there on the back wall, and that's really all that Drifters needed to find the second goal here. That once it comes off the back wall, Shogun, it's very tough to defend at that point. It's just the way the game is here in Rocket League, as Drifters sitting 2-0 up. Fadeaway now looking and not as strong as a position as they did in the previous game.
I'm absolutely certain Drifters, if they get the opportunity, would love to put the hurt on them here, just as much as Fadeaway did to them in the last game. Oh, that's a very awkward touch as well. Freaky can keep the pressure on. Now, where is Fadeaway going to create their opportunity? Just trying to outpace Drifters right now. up high, and there is a backboard miss, and this might become a little bit of a theme here in this game.
Yeah, both teams really struggling with that backboard defense, and I'm not sure if it's mispositioning or if it's a boost issue, but neither team really expecting the backboard touches, and if they do, they've missed it, as Freaky puts a shot right in the middle of the net. It is saved away. Good demo from Freaky. He's done a great job of rotating through that defense. Once he has the initial touch, he'll push himself to the goal line to make sure he gets a piece of the defense. Swooping, though, on the counter. Nachito going to get a second touch. That was a tough angle to hit. Doesn't get there, and Fadeaway starts to try and break out.
Fadeaway definitely got away with that one. All three players were committed. Drifters just couldn't react quick enough. Freaky looks for the infield pass to Yukio off the backboard. Swooping just sitting around. He's not going to add himself to the backboard miss list. Instead, he's going to look to try and set up for another goal. In comes Ritual off the backboard one more time. And Nachito over to Tigray. Swooping can still recover for this, actually. He wants a double tap. Instead gets a challenge. Ritual, zero boost for him. Just postures a little bit, and his posturing made a mistake from Tigray for Nachito to score from.
And I'm curious to see this from, Tigray only had 14 boosts. That's why, as I don't even think he saw Ritual, but the missed touch and the fake challenge from both Tigray and Ritual leaves way for Nachito. 3-0 is the scoreline. Drifters in command. Fadeaway's defense in shambles.
Well, it's definitely not been a consistent series of Rocket League, but it has been a fun one.
It certainly has, and, you know, I would say that I expected this, maybe not in the fashion, but I definitely expected this one to go back and forth for sure.
Oh, we are going to see Fadeaway make a comeback here. It needs to start very soon. Backboard? Of course, backboard. Where's it go? Where else?
And nobody touched it.
Hey, backboard works! Yay!
Nobody touched it, Shogun.
I'm numb to this now. I don't...
Nope.
This is deja vu to me.
Swoopin and Ritual, although Ritual's a bit tougher, he had to react to the miss from Swoopin. But again, the backboard for both sides. This is not just a singular team issue. This is both sides struggling to defend their backboard.
I think we found the two teams that if we reformed We Them Girls, easiest matchup in We Them Girls' lives. They would love this. Freaky. Wait a minute here. All right, we were joking around. Serious faces now. Because Fadeaway, well, it's a calamity again, but it's a goal.
It is a bit tragic seeing the whiff, but maybe it was all calculated, and Freaky a good job to adapt to it at least and put the shot away. And Fadeaway, very quietly and slowly, clawing their way back into this one now, just above 30 seconds, and Fadeaway looking for the equalizer.
Tigray off the backboard. I'm just not going to say that anymore. I feel like it should just be implied. Yukio, infield pass actually almost managed to be read by Tigray. He wanted to see if he could dunk on Ritual. It drops down. Yukio with a chance. Wants to try and bat himself with a double tap. And it's off the post. No follow-up shot. Tigray with another one on target. So it will be Fadeaway. They can keep the offensive pressure going. In comes Yukio. Trying to block shots. Two players now gone from Drifters. They need to get rid of this. Tigray can't get it past one, but instead Ritual has to find the way to the floor. And he's managed to do so. So a game that was plodding on through and looked like it was going to be an easy win for Drifters got a little bit more exciting there in the last few moments.
Yeah, Fadeaway turned it on there in the end, and of course it was because Drifters were struggling on defense, and Fadeaway started to circle around them, but still, Fadeaway, did a good job at least keeping this one close. They gave themselves a chance to find that equalizer and maybe push it to overtime, but the lead was just too wide for them in the end. And for Drifters, this is obviously a much better result, not only because they won, they definitely played a lot better in this game than the previous one where they got blown out like 7-0. So, you know, I think that does answer the question, Shogun, of, you know, is Fadeaway truly outclassing Drifters? I don't think so. I think that was a bad game from Drifters. The real question is now, Drifters knowing that they're one game away from ending the series, how do they come out in this game? Can they keep that momentum that they had from at least the previous?
I think both teams will feel like they might be getting away with one here if they end up winning this, because this is not the level of performance, because we have to now start comparing this against Singularity.
Right.
Singularity would have a field day. against either of these teams right now. So not only do they need to win this, they need to win it in a way that gives us something to believe that they can beat Singularity.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good point because, like you said, I mean, the winner has to move on to play that Singularity squad, and that individual skill and the speed that we've already seen, at least even today from Singularity, is going to be very tough for either of these teams to match.
Yukio, good man!
Yukio takes it away and gets the first goal for Fadeaway.
I can't tell if he wanted to steal or if he was just trying to see, all right, how nice can I be here? And then took no risks.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him for securing the goal there for his team. And great touch by Tigray. Found that gap in the midfield. And Fadeaway on the board first as Freaky misses the kickoff. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or not. So I don't think it really looked like it. And still, no team the better for it.
I've seen some weird kickoffs from Freaky. He is, he's got some tactics up his sleeve.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to call anyone now. I've seen some strange kickoffs, and I'm like, wow, that was weird. And I'll get a DM and be like, oh, yeah, that was on purpose. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't want to call anyone out.
Well, 2 players committed over in that corner. It's going to leave Ritual by himself. First touch from Tigray. If he could at least got into a position where he could force a challenge, then that would have been a very tough position for Drifters to be in. It's a great first touch, though, from Yukio. Able to catch it on the backboard. It's a missed touch, though, from his teammate. Fadeaway will hope that they've at least put that in the past, as Yukio off the backboard, whereas the follow-up is a bump on swoop in. Freaky in a bit late. If Fadeaway can double this one up, we have already seen that Drifters aren't the best team from playing from behind. So another goal for Fadeaway might actually be able to seal this. Instead, it's a double miss.
Hard back pass to Ritual as well. That was tough for him to deal with and kind of slows down that offensive momentum that Drifters were building there. But something I wanted to message, Sogan, that if you're just watching on player POVs that you might not see unless you're literally on the player doing this, but there's a lot of off-the-ball physical bumping, maybe not even demos, but from Fadeaway, especially when they're on the offensive side of things. They just like to go for that first man. They'll get their touch. Something I mentioned about Freaky. He'll get his touch and kind of rotate through the back line of the defense. Really, all of them are doing that. They're trying to find someone after their first touch to just bump out of the way. Freaky's doing it now. He gets a piece of swoop in. But it's something that kind of spreads that defense out and helps your offense create those and capitalize on the gaps.
Oh, Tigray off the backboard. There's the chance for Yukio. It's a huge block. Visual trying desperately to get rid of it, but Fadeaway are unrelenting for their offensive pressure. Nashito with the chance ends up missing the ball. Goes out to Yukio yet again. But to your point, Corelli, I think that's a great way of like showing how that this has evolved as a series. Yes, we already know that the backboards are priority #1 for both teams, but that does mean that if you haven't got someone on the backboard, it means they're very static on the goal line. They become an option for those demo plays. Yeah, it seems like both teams have evolved into the way this has gone. So happy to lean into it rather than pull away. Freaky gets it past one. Ritual already on his way back, and Nashito let's take it by himself. Minute 40 here. If the result stands as it currently is, we're heading over to Champions Field. Fadeaway just got to hold on here.
Lots of demos coming out actually from the Drifters side. I had mentioned Fadeaway getting the demos. There's one coming off the backboard. Great read, though, by the defense of Fadeaway. They finally get a good read. And they're better for it as that puts them back onto offense. Freaky actually throws it to the back post. Yukio came late, but almost got a piece of it. And Ritual there to clear it away. Still Fadeaway's defense holding strong in the midfield.
Where is their offensive chance going to come from? The defense is nice, but it's a luxury at the moment. They absolutely have to find their chance. It's a big chance in the midfield, but there's nobody there. They got the demo, but they didn't have anyone available to shoot. Swooping off the backboard, and Visual is going to be coming in late. You can already see that the entirety of Fadeaway is set up.
And Drifters are getting a demo like every 20 seconds at this moment. Swoopin was getting some. There's another one from Nachito. I mean, seriously, there's been 5 or 6 demos here in the last, I don't know, minute and a half or so from a multitude of players on the Drifters side.
Oh, and this is what we were worried about.
Squeaking through.
They almost managed to put up by 2. That would have been the end of the game. Visual hasn't got any boost, but he still has to make this work. 10 seconds left. Goes across the face of gold. Tigre's going to take it to the air and have it on his car for as long as he possibly can. Have to go coast to coast now if you are the Drifters. It's going to have to come from this play. Double commit. It's all on Swoopin. He will have passing options to his left instead. First touch is so heavy. Can't get over to it. We're heading to Champions Field.
Wow, a game 5 between these teams. A lot of people had picked Fadeaway to win. I think Drifters have really taken it to him. Even with the poor performance they had in a singular game from Drifters, they have been able to push Fadeaway to the brink. Fadeaway do fight back and get to a game 5 here, and it was off of a lot of defense from them here in this game. 8 saves to their name. They had to put up with a lot of shots from Drifters and a lot of demos as well. And a game 5, Shogun. We didn't get one yesterday. We get one here today. We head to Champions Field.
Certainly do, and this is with both teams having their tournament lives on the line. For Drifters, you know, I think them going out here was kind of what was expected, but for Fadeaway, they made this roster move hoping that it was going to take them to that next level, that they could get out of that sort of midfield in Europe and start moving it in towards that top 8 a little bit more often. If they lose here, they've taken a step back, and they've taken a step back when they do not need it. Here we go then. Game 5. Singularity away. Who is it going to be?
I think a lot of people still have picked Fadeaway, and Tigre might start things off. Weak shot from Yukio, but see what Drifters have in store. It's one of those things where I get a bit scared for a team that didn't have a good performance one game. Are they going to have another poor performance here in game 5? Yukio gets a second touch to start things off for Fadeaway.
And it was again the bump game. Nashito had to try to avoid just constant harassment on that back line. So is it going to be the up-and-comers in Drifters or the experienced hand in Fadeaway? So far, pointing towards Fadeaway. Into the far side. That's 2 players now gone. Ridgewall has got Tigre to deal with. He's got it ball pounced away from him as well. Afford another one to go against them. Freaky.
Yeah, I mean, the last time you saw Fadeaway start to pull away in a game, it got real ugly for the Drifters. And here they are in kind of a similar start. They get that first goal, and they're looking to get a second. Freaky oncoming for the shot. Not good enough as the defense shuts it down for Drifters.
Tigre doesn't get it first time, but he's going to be happy to scoop it up the second time. Flip reset, maybe!
Oh,
what a goal, Tigre!
Tigre coming out with some style here, and he picks up that full boost, which was just so helpful for this, and comes back down on top of the ball. I don't know if he got the flip. He didn't use it there. I didn't hear it, but still, Tigre does a great job to fake out that man and get under him and put it away as he lands on it. And 2-0 now, up our Fadeaway.
The perfect start. And now the question becomes, can this team that last time went down by a few goals, ended up getting taken out by 7-0, pull out a huge comeback and take it against Fadeaway in game 5? Logic says no. Rocket League logic says maybe.
I was going to say, it's going to take a lot of backboards for Drifters if they're going to, on both sides of the field. Oh, no, not that one. Wrong way. His
Ritual. Make it work.
He does get out of it, but I mean, but seriously, it will take some creative offense here for Drifters, because Fadeaway have cleaned up their defense, and Drifters are going to have to break them down a bit harder than they maybe have in previous games.
Nashito. Over to Visual. It's a chase now for Swoopin. There's not much available for him, though. Another booming clear. Almost half the game gone now. And this is a play straight over to Yukio, who's had a lot of success with these individual plays so far. First touch too heavy this time round. Just trying to find what's available to them, but Drifters aren't giving each other options off the ball. Still sat behind it an awful lot. And still very much on no boost across all of them. They've got 50 boost across 3 members. Yeah, and that is the biggest issue right now that the Drifters are facing, is their boost starve in their own half, and that's why you're seeing them not really get down the field as much. Drizzle's having to take on the whole team right now, and he does a good job of it, but unfortunately one touch to get him off the ball, and they're back down the field, and a couple demos open things up for Fadeaway, as Yukio now trying to work his magic down the sideline. It won't happen.
And no boost for Nachito, so he'll just throw it towards the fadeaway net.
2 minutes now. Drifters, despite the fact that they have to go and look for this goal, can't afford to concede another one. That would be series
he got
over.
two.
It's going to be Yuki already up, though. He will comfortably cover what could have been a very difficult situation for Fadeaway. Nachito clears long to Visual, but where's the follow-up option? There's going to be nobody over there. They have to do this in a way that they can react to. Freaky. Just can't get it past the final defender. Nachito has got swooping up in support. This might be a little bit better for them. There's another clear off the backboard. Visual has to keep this pressure going. Need a chance. They still haven't had a chance on net yet.
Yep, one shot for Drifters at time running out. They need an opportunity here. Nachito's not going to get to it. That was the chance. It was tough to react to, but definitely possible. Tigre trying to fight for the midfield. Drifters, they need one with some time left at the clock. Swooping, gonna try and swoop under that one, and a good pass from Visual. Gets 2 to go there, but a bit clear from Freaky. One more from Fadeaway would almost certainly end the game, and Yukio puts it in left side on the second touch. That's the second one in the game, and a 3-0 lead for Fadeaway.
And that is pure class from Yukio. 4 swooping to go. 3-0. And in a series that looked like it might be getting very, very uncomfortable for Fadeaway. They have made this game 5 look easy.
And I think it was Turtle on the desk saying that he wanted Yukio to be involved more downfield. And he's certainly getting that here in this series, especially in this game, as he has put away 2 spectacular shots. I think he got a little bit of help from Swoopin on that last one, but either way, it was fantastic. And here he is again. Can he get back to it? He almost gets the second touch there. 20 seconds left, and it's not going to happen for the Drifters here. Fadeaway had to battle hard. It was a tough and long series here. It took them 5 games, but Fadeaway able to hang on. Yukio's going to put another one away, and he gets himself a hat trick here.
I will say, Yukio looked ready for Singularity, but will the entirety of Fadeaway be ready? This looked a lot better here. In the last 2 games that they won, Fadeaway looked at a level that could make that a very, very interesting series. But it's going to be up to the consistency. Drifters, valiant in their attempt, but they will drop out as Fadeaway move on.
There's some skill on this Drifters team. It's another one of those teams where they have a lot of great pieces. And at times they look brilliant. At other times, it's a little shaky. The same could be said about Fadeaway, honestly, here in this series. But unfortunately, their run ends here for this regional, and they are sent home, and Fadeaway live to fight another day.
I cannot wait to hear what Desk made of this series, because I don't know about you, Corelli. I struggle to gauge roughly what we were expecting off this. We obviously had the little period in the middle there with all of the backboards, so that seemed to be less of an issue as we moved on throughout the series. So hopefully we won't see that yet again. As for Drifters, I have to agree. There are some very, very good pieces on this. It's just crisis management, I think. When things got bad for them, it got worse for them. And that can't happen because you are going to obviously come up against bits of difficulty as you're trying to move through the RLCS. They have to make sure that when things start going wrong and they start going 2 goals down, it doesn't just snowball into an insurmountable sort of problem for them. So that'll be the main thing, looking at them as they move forward as a team.
For Fadeaway, like you said, I think Yukio looked ready. Hopefully the team gets ready. Singularity are not going to be an easy team to take down. Fadeaway, it's absolutely within their grasp, but I think they're going to have to kick it up just that extra notch as a team as a whole to take on Singularity.
And I'm looking forward to seeing that one later on. But when we come back from break, we're going to hear the desk's reaction as well as get into our 3rd match of the day, Endpoint against Trainhard Esports.